Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to Miami Heat Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, we have kind of our new producer-ish, Frankie G, co-host
Free Tiff.
Also joining us today, reality check master Tiffany Meeks.
What up?
Chat's already saying trade G for Brady. So
Whoa.
good to see you guys too. We had a nice weekend. We had Bam hit a game winner on Sunday. Nothing else has happened in the NBA since. Bam hit a buzzer beater, his third as a member of the Heat, which puts him right behind Dwayne Wade for most all time. And nobody cared because an hour later, Luka Doncic got traded. Frankie, let's show a little love to Bam, who did something really cool. I mean, he gets to the midi. Shout out to Asia, who hard launched the relationship.
We got a quick little inbound here. A fake screen. Tyler screens him right back. 1, 2. Get to the midi.
Get to the spot.
To it.
Shout out to Bam. And I thought, people were like, are you guys doing a pod today? And we're like, no, it's, we had a built-in day off. I'm so sorry, guys. And we went on our Saturday nights, and then a few hours later, a bombshell hit the league. Luka gets traded to the Lakers in an event so stunning that everybody was asking Shams Charania, who reported it, who broke the news, if he had been hacked. And what I saw was a parade of his colleagues saying, apparently this is real. I just confirmed it, which was, Tiff, that was, I think, out of everything that happened that night, I thought that was one of the most surreal things that other reporters had to be like, people were like, that is not real. That guy got hacked. And then his peers were like, oh, wait, no, he didn't get hacked.
No, I woke up, it was probably like 6:30, and then I saw it.
Why are you waking up at
And
6:30 on a Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, I
That's
had
crazy.
a kid.
That's crazy.
I got pets. Like, that's
Damn.
what happens. It's my internal clock. But anyway, so I immediately went in the chat and go, is this real? Because it seems so, like, I woke up and I was like, nah, I'm going back to sleep. But that's like the craziest and honestly saddest thing. Like, it's actually very sad in more ways than one.
It's really sad. I thought the funniest thing that happened within our friend group was John Jablanca, who's English. Siobhan sends to the chat, man, when John wakes up this morning, he about to throw his beans across the house. Shit fucking killed me, dude. So
And when he popped in and he was like, what?
yeah, dude, he went crazy. The Europeans woke up. All the Slovenians woke up and were like, what the fuck? So Luka gets traded, and I don't think we have to say a ton about, the trade and everything. I mean, I think that's been talked about ad nauseum by people who cover the Lakers, who cover the league. Zach Lowe came out of retirement to do a 17-minute show on it, which is excellent. It's on his Twitter page. I recommend everybody go to that. And I want to talk about this kind of from a Heat angle. What happened with this trade? How does it affect Miami and their 2026 plans? Because I think that has a lot, has a lot of implications. As we have people giving super chats. We got Haroon Gill says KD for Jimmy. Breaking news. I wish, but you paid for that, so you get to keep that up. Let's first go through the trade, right? So the Lakers get Luka, Maxey, and Markieff Morris. Welcome back. Mavs get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the Lakers 2029 first round pick. Their 2031 first round pick, which is actually insane. And then Utah kind of sneaks in and takes Jalen Hood, Shafino, Dallas's 25 second, and the Lakers 25 second. So Dallas even gave a pick along with Luka, which is absolutely insane. So this is kind of the landscape of the trade. that happen. And I want to talk about Frankie 2026 because Luka all of a sudden is not eligible for a Supermax anymore. And we'll go through those numbers. But I mean, now that's a guy that's going to maybe hit free agency. He could sign an extension with the Lakers, but he's not eligible for that insane Supermax contract that literally nobody has turned down. Is Pat Riley back?
Well, it definitely opens up the doors to at least this summer. And we'll, like you said, we'll go over the numbers and stuff, but we'll have more clarity if Luka signs an extension this summer. But yeah, definitely. Like I was one of those big skeptics that the Mavs would let him walk on Supermax, and I also thought he got hacked. I saw it. I was checking the Blue Sky notifications, and the Shams bot came in. I was like, wait, that can't be right. And I was like, oh my god. My girlfriend was behind me playing video games, and she's like, what happened? What happened? Did somebody die? Somebody get hurt? I was like,
I couldn't explain to my girlfriend either. She was like, I don't understand why this is important. And I go, I just cannot. I cannot articulate how insane what just happened is.
My girlfriend goes, you've said you're befuddled like 6 times today, like just randomly.
How else are you supposed to describe it?
Like, I have no idea. I was trying to like put it into terms like socially. I think the best one was somebody saying that this is like Destiny's Child trading Beyonce for Chili. that was perfect. But yeah, man, it definitely opens up the door. Like we'll have more of some answers in this summer whether he signs this extension, the 2-for-1 or the 4-year, and then we'll really know if they're gonna trade him or what they're gonna do.
I mean, Tiff, if they're in play for him, kind of changes everything.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it does change everything, and then it forces you to think, how would you build a team around Luka? Because that's exactly it. So if he says, I want to go to the Heat, you literally have to look at your roster and say, well, anybody and everybody.
Well, I mean, if you get him in free agency, you don't have to do that.
Well,
right?
you do. You're not, if you get Luka in free agency, I'm not keeping this roster as.
I guess what I'm saying is that, you can keep Bam, you can keep Ware, who I think would play really well with Luka, right? Like you can trade guys to get better, but you don't have to give anybody up.
No, you don't, but you do. Because you look at what you got. Luka's got the ball in his hands 112% of the time. So now you got to look at who you got and go, who can play with this guy, and we're not a first round, second round out.
Well, I think the interesting kind of thing with Luka in Miami, Tiff, is you get the offensive engine that I think they have been desperate for since LeBron left. They've just never been able to replace that. And I think Miami actually has some guys that have played really well with him. I think Bam would be a great pick and roll partner for him. I think for a lot of reasons. Bam doesn't need the ball. If anything, Bam doesn't want the ball, which is great. I think Khalil Ware is a great guy for him as well as a rim roller. Maybe he's not Derek Lively, but certainly he can shoot, he can roll, he can provide spacing vertically. And, as a shooter, I think Duncan Robinson would play really well with him as well. I think, inverted pick and roll with Duncan Robinson and him. I think Duncan just filling out corners, running around, just shooting the ball, playing really well. And I know this is going to be controversial. I think Tyler can play with him. I think Tyler has shown you he can play off the ball. I think Tyler has been a really good on-ball player. And by the way, Luka,
you haven't named but one person, G, who could actually guard.
Well, Bam. I said Bam.
That's the one
part.
Like you like if at some point we got to alleviate that. That's why I'm saying you got to do due diligence if you're bringing in an all-world talent like Luka. Like Bam just can't be the only guy who can like either guard his position. I just want Hamish. I want anybody who could guard and don't cry because Luka got the ball.
Well, I think Haywood, not even joking, Drew Smith, great guard to play with Luka.
Post
Defender.
Achilles.
I think Highsmith is a guy who would make a lot of sense. You know, they have. I think Nico.
No.
I think Nico has shown you improvements defensively, and I think he would play well with Luka. I actually think that Nico having the ball too much is a bad thing. I think that Nico needs to find the sweet spot where he can do some creation, but he's not tasked with too much of it. And I think that playing with a guy like Luka certainly, you know, is I don't know. I think that this is a roster that he can come into that I don't think they have to tweak too much. I think they for sure need to find some defense, as Steve says, you know, if they kind of absorb him in free agency. But I think, Frankie, I think this is a really good roster for him because literally the kind of thing they've been missing is him. And they have shown these guys on this team, a lot of these role players have shown you that they can step up in the playoff series, that they show you that they can produce. So I think that this is a pretty good place for him to walk into if they can acquire him in free agency.
Yeah, like hypothetically, like there's a lot of things he'd have to buy into. Obviously, the conditioning test first and foremost.
Right.
Pat Riley's coming with that with a body fat measurement, and he's like, "What's your BMI, brother?" And, and he's gonna run. Once that thing snaps in half, I think Pat might run faster. But I mean, there's definitely some pieces you want to see, especially during this time. Hypothetically, if he's available in 2 years, you'll have more answers about this core. You'll have more answers of who's should stick around, who's grown enough, who can fit around, and who's, you know, replaceable. And that's what you need to do during this time. This is what we said. Like, you need to take this time seriously and find guys you want to further invest in. Nico will be up for an extension this summer. Tyler will have after that summer, during that summer, I believe he'll be extension eligible as well. So they'll have decisions to make, Luka or no Luka.
I listen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm distracted with chat saying that he needs to get on Ozempic.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, LeBron has some good HGH guys. I'm just saying.
Listen, LeBron's and by the way, I mean, Norway I saw is putting a huge tariff on Ozempic. So, and I believe they have some trademarks on Ozempic, so it's gonna be hard to get some dupes. So, Lucas is gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, hit the treadmill.
And then
I think his weight's overstated, by the way, Tiff.
What's that? The Ozempic?
No, I think that the weight stuff is crazy. Obviously,
he's overweight.
Obviously,
he's overweight.
Right. I want to clarify. He's overweight. I'm overweight. He's overweight for an
overweight.
NBA player.
Did you hear? Hold on. Did you hear the report that the Mavs GM was like, "Hey, I want both picks," and Pelinka's like, "Whoa, both picks? We're taking." He likes to drink. He likes to eat. We're taking a risk here.
So do I.
Exactly.
I saw one tweet that said, like, Luka's so good at basketball, people are making it like AD is Hassan Whiteside.
Oh God, man.
No, Tim,
But
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He is overweight, but this is why I just kind of am like, what else is happening? Because it doesn't, like, if you as the coach or the GM couldn't get one of the top 3 players in the world to get into shape, I'm firing you. Like, I'm not trading him. I'm trading you. I'm getting rid of you, the coach, or you, the GM, if I'm the owner, because obviously you can't motivate people. So there is something, and I get it. He likes to drink. He likes to smoke cigars. He looks like he likes a little something sweet after dinner. I do too. But listen, the fact that you said, okay, you fat, so I'm trading you. No, that means I'm trading you. Who's the coach there? J Kidd? Oh, you out of here. You don't know what I need somebody who can make this man realize how great he could be if he lost more weight. Like, there's something else that just doesn't fit.
Tiff, he could have been fat. Dave Blunt's levels of fat, and I still would have supermaxed him.
Somebody said he could be playing on the court with a vodka gravy in his hand,
Bro,
and I wouldn't trade him.
He could have a vodka IV on the court, and I would still supermax him.
I bet you he'd make better decisions than Terry at that point.
Yo, who, by the way, after being under federal investigation, has started to hooping. That man is trying to beat any allegations, which I don't think is helping. FBI, if you're watching,
not gonna help.
There's no lit fuse under your ass like jail time.
I'm telling, dude, that's amazing. I was like, who are you? That man's fucking Kyrie Irving out there. You see the crossover to the pull up on. I was like, who? I never ever.
That's calling him FBI Terry.
FBI Terry. From Tariff Terry to FBI Terry. Oh my God.
Listen, you going from Terry as your point guard to Luka? Yeah, I take it.
Tip, somebody in chat goes, it's all fun and games till Spo plays Luka at the 4.
Oh my God.
Who do you think he's going to be guarding? Honestly,
right?
That's going to be his defensive position.
No, they did that with Harden too. They play Harden at the 4, and they. No, I actually
Luka and Harden are kind of the Spider-Man meme, if we're being honest.
Luka's the one guy.
No, Luka. I know that there's like a low light reel.
No, because he's terrible.
Yeah, James puts on a fat suit. Luka just has the fat on him.
I think that Luka's defense is pretty bad, but it's not like, bro, he's not Trae Young or James Harden. He's
better. You didn't watch the finals. It was.
I did watch.
He was that bad. He was calling the refs.
He's horrible, but here's the difference. He's the one guy who can offensively offset his horrible defense, and I will take it.
For sure.
Like that,
he's the second best offensive player in the league.
But that's what I'm saying. His defense is so bad, but if his offense can offset his defense, that tells you how great of an offensive player he is.
Chat's fucking me up. They just keep saying like KD to the Warriors and shit like that. I can't work under these conditions. I can't work under. You guys are now. I'm checking.
Listen, I'll tell you what.
Possible.
If KD goes to the Warriors,
it would never happen.
But listen, if KD goes to the Warriors, I don't think it's happening. You know who goes to Miami?
Draymond.
No. It's like he never left.
Jimmy?
Yep. Because that's it. It's like all roads are exhausted at that point.
Jimmy will be like, fine, send me to fucking Memphis. God,
we're gonna get to Jimmy at the end of the show because I still want to kind of focus on the Luka stuff. As we get another super chat from BB.
Yep.
Says,
hey,
does
BB.
it make sense for the Miami to piggyback on the Dallas mood and trade Butler to Dallas for PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, and the Lakers pick? I tweeted that, not that exact permutation, BB, but I had said, I was like, if I'm Miami, I tweeted a joke with like a Pat Riley putting his fist up, like, oh, that Laker pick is ours now. You know, Dallas is gonna try to get him. I think Jimmy makes sense on that team. To be honest with you, there have been reports that Dallas is not interested. Now Jimmy is from Houston, so maybe Jimmy.
They were originally on his list too.
Yeah, originally on the list, but so are the Warriors. And Jimmy said he ain't going there. So
whoever
knows?
pays him, he'll go.
Right.
Who knows? But certainly, I think that Dallas does make sense. But I saw it like that the Mavericks are not very interested in doing that, and I can understand that too. I think that, to be honest with you, if I'm Nigo, the GM of Dallas, I'm laying low. I don't know if you've seen what's going on in those streets. If that's Philly, that guy's dead.
Yeah.
If that guy, if this is the Sixers and the whole exact same thing happens, that guy has to leave town. 100%.
Well.
He's lucky that he's in Dallas. So let's talk a little bit about kind of Luka's financial options, right? And not to bore you guys with numbers. This graphic right now is via Bobby Marks, kind of highlighting his contract with the Lakers and what that would look like versus one in free agency. And it's just kind of to go over how possible is this, right? So with the Lakers, he can sign a 5-year deal, as you can see here, for about $115 million. I'm sorry, $296 million for 5 years, as opposed to as a normal free agent, he could sign a 4-year for about $220 million. So less because, yeah, chat says Tiff doesn't want to hear the numbers. I don't want to be Brian Goins. Right? I'm not gonna bore you with numbers. But Frankie, something that we talked about is he's gonna want to be Supermax eligible. So the 2+1 extension is probably the move for him, right? And that's gonna get him that's gonna get him to the Supermax, which is this Donovan Mitchell extension, that 2+1 into the Supermax.
For sure. And shout out to Keith Smith.
Yeah, shout out to Keith Smith.
He did an article about this on for Spotrac. I just linked it in the chat if you guys want to check it out. But he put those numbers together, the difference in 4 years for every option. It's whether he stays. Thank you. The 2+1, if he extends and gets that 10th year of eligibility of being in the NBA, that's how much he'll make. So it's the most lucrative option for him to extend with that shorter term, because that gives them option to extend at a bigger cap, and when the CBA is changing, so you can make a lot more money. If he extends this summer, or he re-signs with the Lakers as a free agent, it's the exact same number. So there's no benefit for him to do that financially. He can wait. If he's staying with the Lakers, we'll know this summer pretty much. If he signs with another team, say the Miami Heat, he is losing out potentially about $18 million in the short term. But there's taxes in California are a lot heavier than Florida. So, there will be some financial benefits to him doing so as well.
And that amount of money is not like $200 or $100 million that you would leave on the table for a Supermax. Now we're talking about money that you can't walk away from versus, can I make that up?
Right. And my concern, I'm still a huge skeptic. I see no reason.
Yeah, I am too.
Nike has a NBA superstar, worldwide superstar in LA for the most premier franchise in the NBA, in arguably sports. And why would he go? He's going to make so much money marketing wise. I don't see it at all happening. Sorry to break your hearts, guys. Hoping and wishing.
Frankie, I don't know about that. I got to be honest with you.
He's going to make so much more money marketing wise in LA than Miami. It's not even close.
I don't. Maybe, probably that. I don't know that he's going to stay for sure. And again, I think that he can. We'll know this summer, right, Tiff? We'll know this summer, but yeah. I think that
he'll get traded this summer if he doesn't extend.
I don't know if the Lakers have infrastructure to build a good team for him. They're going to, because as time goes on, Miami's just going to kind of regain their picks and regain their stuff. And I think they have a team that's a little bit better suited for him than the Lakers. LeBron's 40. That team really needs a lot of defense. They don't have a center. We have to see what they do. They do have a pick to trade, which I'm sure they're going to do something this deadline. But
all right. So quickly, if it's the end of the season and he says, I don't want to stay here, trade me to Miami, what's the trade?
But why does he got to get traded? Why can't? I mean, if he doesn't sign the extension, he'll just enter free agency, right? And then,
but they're not keeping him. They just traded Anthony Davis.
Is he eligible?
But hold on. But we go through Frankie. We go through the thing where this is not a guy in a supermax, right? Like, this is a guy that trading him for somebody that I don't know. Like, it kind of depends on him. If he wants to come to Miami, I mean, I think. Anywhere he gets traded, it just benefits him to hit free agency at that point.
But think of it from the Lakers' point of view.
Can we circle back? Is he a free agent this summer?
2026, he can opt out.
So if he does not like where he is and he does not want to play another season, and he says trade me, because that is a huge possibility, right? Like, we have to be honest. He could get there and just be like, I'll finish this season, but this is not for me.
Yeah.
So what? So then the Lakers will open the door for everybody.
They will, and they'll get something. So, but what I'm saying is that, like, I think especially if they trade him, why would he sign an extension and not field offers? Like, why would he sign the first extension to the team that trades him? Because he could just say, he could just want to hit free agency. He could just play out another year because he's pretty much committed to LA for a year and a half.
But
his contract is a year and a half, pretty much, right? He has this season.
I'm gonna say it again because all he knows is Dallas. If he's not happy and he has the means and the wherewithal, he could do whatever he wants.
No, but I get what you're saying.
That's something we really should look at because that is a possibility.
I wouldn't trade
for
him.
He might not like it.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a chance that he doesn't like it.
I think to your point though,
no, let's let to finish.
Go ahead.
No, it's not a point because that is a consideration. You move somewhere you don't like it. Mm. You have a wife, you have children, and you don't like it, and you don't want to be there. All right, I need to be transferred, whether you're in the office, wherever. If he walks into that building and says, I don't want to be here, and the Lakers say, all right, here we go. What do you do?
What do you do if you're who?
If you're Miami.
If you're Miami and everybody else, like you're going to get in there.
I think, again, like, I think if you're the Heat, obviously you're not going to win a bidding war. But I also think that you understand that, okay, well, if Luka gets moved, you know, like, I don't think it behooves him to, like, just sign the first extension of the first place he's traded, right? I think that kind of fielding free agent pitch, because he's in a unique situation where he doesn't have the Supermax, because I think the Supermax worked in that it's people signed with their teams, right? Like, it kept guys, it worked. The problem is that those guys would then, like, force a trade, and it'd be, like, this huge thing. Luka, you know, so we forget that, like, at every other free agent, like, you know, every other guy in a scenario like this is not just gonna, even if they ask for a trade, you know, they ask for a trade for where they want to go, right? And if they don't get there, they just go there in free agency if they have the cap space. So I get what you're saying. If I'm Miami, obviously, like, you try to trade for him. It's better to trade for him now than let somebody come take it in. But Kawhi Leonard is an example, right? Kawhi's like, I don't want to go there. And the Raptors traded for him, and then he's like, bye. And he won. and they pretty much did everything he ever asked for. Obviously, you want to get him. You want him in the building. You don't want to take a chance that he gets traded to, I don't know, the Raptors, and he loves it there, right? You don't want to run that risk. But, you know, they don't really have the assets to compete in a bidding war for a guy like that. But he's not locked up for 6 years or something. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm just saying we keep talking about him finishing out a year and a half. There's no guarantee on that year and a half. There's no guarantee on anything. As we saw, we thought he'd retire a Mav. It didn't happen. Well, like the Mavs thought he was going to get into shape. It didn't happen.
He was about to buy a house.
Right. There's no guarantee.
He did buy a
that's
house.
why.
No, they said he was getting ready to close this week. They just
but that's what I'm saying. Like it's all like all of this is so weird that why would we think the weirdness just ends?
That's my point, Tiff. That like the Lakers are not going to let him get to free agency. He extends or he's gone, and even if it's a rental, like we'll have an answer,
Frankie. But then, like, okay, let's say he extends. He does not extend in the summer. Like, let's say they finish the 7th seed, they make the first round, they lose in 6 games to Houston or something, because that team's not very good. And then comes the summer, and it's like, hey, Luka, here's an extension. And Luka's like, I don't know. Then if you're the Lakers, you go, okay, you move him. Do you move him?
Yes. You just traded Anthony Davis.
What if he says? What if he says? I don't know yet. He's like, I just got here. Let me play a full season. So you're saying
you're going to lose him for nothing. You just traded Anthony Davis for him.
Right.
At the very least, you wait for the deadline. At the very least, you wait for the deadline.
No, you get more trading right away because you get the whole season.
That's fine. So let's say you do that and you trade him. And Miami's a bidder. I don't know. Brooklyn's a bidder. I'm just making up names. The Knicks are a bidder. A bunch of teams are bidding for him. Dallas bids. Why would he sign an extension at any of those places?
Security.
Why would he not just take the
security?
No, the security is the option.
No, financially, it makes more sense. It's more money to extend for the 2+1. We just went over the numbers.
Yes,
it's more money to extend, and it's security because he can't get hurt.
He could sign the 2-1 here.
Yeah, but it's still less money.
A little less.
That
not a
2
lot.
plus 1 is the more money is 2 plus 1 with the Lakers in the summer. But that's the thing. His two places were Miami and LA. That's what the Kevin O'Connor
He probably
said.
stays there. I would
Yeah.
bet that he stays there.
Yeah, but that's what financially makes sense, and it also incentively makes sense to get that security. Every player, every time they get a contract, it's a player option, so that they have the option of in case they get hurt. It's not just for security. It's in case they get hurt.
Frankly, the options also to opt out to then get more money because
right.
the years of service increase and the contracts increase.
Right, but but the thing is, it's also to protect you for that. I think he could just sign a 1+1 if he's not sure, if he wants to do more time. But like unless it's a disaster in LA this rest of the season, I don't think he's hitting free agency.
So the other thing, Frankie, with Luka is this is a bit of an unusual trade because it's not like normally when guys like this get traded, they know where they're going, they have an idea.
Right.
Nobody fucking talked to him. They just sent him somewhere, right? And I think the situation, I don't think that you're not wrong in anything that you have said. And Tiff, you're not wrong in anything you have said. I think you guys are 100% right. And I say the betting favorite is that he'll probably stay there because it's the Lakers and it's a nice city and he can get more money. He can get a little bit more money there. Not Supermax more, but he can get a little bit more money there. But this is not, like you said, Tiff, this is not a normal situation.
Right. It to me it's so weird, and even though the Lakers were on his list, I know nothing about Luka. So I don't know if somebody asked him that question in just like 2 years ago and he said, "Oh, I'd play for the Lakers or Miami," just to have an answer. So I don't know any of these things, but I think the biggest thing would be if the Lakers let him walk out by trade, by free agency, anything. If the Lakers lose him, I think that's bigger than even like acquiring him. So yeah, they're gonna go, balls to the wall to try to re-sign him because they have to.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of uncharted territory. I don't disagree with you. I just think it's a little bit weird. Everything that just happens a little bit weird. And I think it just kind of puts everybody in like a, like you kind of stop and you're like, okay, what the fuck did we do?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of uncertainty. And like Frankie said, we will know in the summer.
Chad, know in this, huh? And I'm sorry. And Chad is asking if he doesn't get along with Redick. Redick is gone. That's the
answer. Like, what did I just say? Oh, you're not whatever. Okay, we need a new coach. Right. Like the Lakers are gonna have to turn over every rock to make sure this works out. And I don't mean championship because there's only one team can win the chip every year. But as far as working out, meaning he's going to want to stay there. Like they have no choice.
Eastern Europeans do love Miami. I will say that. You've lived here, if you every time you come, you stay on the beach. These Eastern Europeans love Miami. So, we will see. Another trade happened this weekend. De'Aaron Fox gets moved to San Antonio Spurs. The Kings got Zach LaVine, Sissoko, Charlotte's 2025 first round pick. What are you laughing at?
Sissoko?
Can I be real?
That's draft beat legend City Sissoko.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't know who the fuck that is.
I don't know who it is either.
He's a Frenchman with an attitude problem.
I don't know who that is. And by the way, I was thinking about this the other day because I watched so little Spurs basketball, unlike Moose. If Devin Vassell was behind me at a Starbucks, I would not know it's him. I know Devin Vassell's very good. Don't watch Devin Vassell. I'm out of touch. They get Charlotte's 25 first round pick. They get the Spurs 27 first round. Is that our first round pick? No, it's not.
No, their own first round pick. They had traded it in another deal. I think it was for DeRozan, and they got it back in this deal.
Chat's calling me a casual. Minnesota's 31 pick. That pick is sneaky great. And 3 seconds from like Bulls, Charlotte, and somebody else. The Spurs get De'Aaron Fox. You said
31?
Minnesota's 31.
We don't even exist in 31. You got to get all you can now.
That's what the Mavs GM said.
Yeah, and that
Dude, did you see that? He's like, shit. I'm Jason Kidd and I aren't gonna be here in 10 years. What do I care?
Jason's like, we?
Dude, that not to like spend more time on the Luka thing. That shit's so fucking crazy that guy went up there, had the weirdest press conference of all time, and then left Jason Kidd there alone. I don't even know what the fuck. And those owners are straight up Nazis. That lady's a fucking Nazi. She's like the biggest Trump donor in America. Like I believe she's the richest or the second richest woman in the United States. And she is Trump's biggest donor by a lot. And she owns this casino stuff. And she's like apparently obsessed with trying to get, she's like has bought every lobbyist in Texas to try to get them to like let her build casinos at the American Airlines Center. Literally.
That's gross.
Disgusting. Back to San Antonio. Spurs get De'Aaron Fox and I'm not even going to try to say Jordan's name. McLaughlin?
Jordan McLaughlin.
What?
McLaughlin.
McLovin.
The Bulls get Zach Collins.
That's the guy
Trey
from
Jones,
Stranger Things.
Kevin Herter, and the Bulls get their own 2025 pick back. I've never seen Stranger Things. I just started watching TV again. I really like Shogun. Shogun's really good. And The Bear. I like The Bear. The Bear and Shogun.
Good show.
So this is what they get. And it's not to spend too much time on this, but really takes De'Aaron Fox off the board for Miami, and it takes Zach LaVine off the board for Miami. And I got to be honest with you, I don't really think Miami was that interested in getting Zach LaVine. It would seem that anybody who wanted Zach LaVine could have had Zach LaVine.
We could have had him already. We could have had him already if they wanted him.
If they wanted him, he would have been here. It just really seems that they were never interested in him. And frankly, I don't blame them. I don't think I don't know. I'm just not into the Bulls cards. I just don't. We have Zach LaVine at home. We have a guard that doesn't play defense. Yes, he's a little bit better on offense. He's better on offense. I don't know.
Better on defense too.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Zach LaVine's pretty awful.
He has more tools defensively as well. A lot more.
I'd rather have Tyler. I think that at that point,
Zach's been more efficient too.
Huh?
Zach's been a better shooter and more efficient this year.
I don't doubt that Zach's like probably like a little bit better than Tyler, but I don't know. I just think I just rather keep the guy. I just rather keep the guy I know. That, by the way, Tyler has a great attitude, and Zach doesn't. And I think they value that, and I would value that. And say whatever you want about Herro, that guy worked hard, got better. He doesn't have physical gifts. He has little arms, he's little alligator arms. He's not the tallest guy in the world. He's skinny, and he's not very fast.
Say something nice about him.
Well, I mean, for all the NBA players that we hope to come play here, you really
Jamal
sold
McGlure All-Stars.
You really sold that cow.
Yeah. And he's an all-star. And Chat's right, but a big heart.
You sold that cow.
Chat's like, leave my man alone.
Chat says this is the worst glazing of all time.
That's his compliment. Listen, the world's against him.
Was he describing Terry or Tyler?
Exactly. I sure want to play for this team.
Tyler has a great attitude, and he's an all-star. And by the way, we haven't talked about that. Congratulations,
he's got a heart
Tyler
of
Herro.
gold.
Tyler Herro's an all-star. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about the all-star candidacy. Congrats to Tyler. And I want to take a quick second before we talk about Jimmy stuff. And you guys can feel free to hop in. I think that that guy was in every single, this is a high-profile team that was trying to win the entirety of his tenure here. They had a superstar that they were on the clock for, and they were constantly linked to a lot of guys. And that guy Tyler Herro was in every single trade rumor. And I think for him to come out the other side of that, to be better as a player, to do what the coaching staff has asked at a young age, the fact that he came off the bench and won Sixth Man of the Year, and I think we were all a little upset and annoyed that he felt that he deserved a bigger role when they were successful with him off the bench. And, he had a rough season and some rough times. But for him to come out the other side and just really work on his game, listen to the coaching staff, and improve the way he has, I think is such a triumph And I think it's like the organization should be really proud of him. I think he should be really proud. I never thought he'd be an all-star. I think most people when he got drafted did not think he would be an all-star. People were like, they were like Lou Williams if he's lucky. And I was even saying Lou Williams would be way better because he can't get to the free throw line like Lou Williams. I never would have projected him to be an all-star. It's a huge accomplishment. And just congratulations to Tyler Herro because that, like I said, stacked against him, and he did it. Okay, apparently you guys have nothing to add. Cool.
I was looking for the Tyler Herro draft sound that you guys had.
Oh, we don't have that on command. I figure during All-Star Weekend we'll do something. We'll do something.
No. I mean, credit to Tyler. I think it's him looking in the mirror and admitting that he needed it to grow. It was the biggest thing. And change. There was a clip of him talking to Danny Green on NBA, talking about like him recognizing how he took a lot of bad shots and he needed to adjust his game for it to be.
He still does take bad shots.
He does, but it's nowhere near as much as he used to. And that's been the biggest change, is him just buying in, and he's finally bought in, and the results have spoken for themselves. And credit to him, he's stepped up as a leader on and off the court. He's working out with the guys on off days and taking all these young guys under his wing, and it's shown, and the results have he's being rewarded for it. Player of the week, all-star, like that's great. Not a lot of us had given up on it, I myself included. And I've been so proud of him this season. I have no complaints for the most part. Defensively, still could do a lot better. But he's the offensive engine, and he's played almost every game. Like that's been one of my biggest complaints as well. And can't complain too much about this season at all on his end.
Chat says Tyler getting the call him by a haircut really changed his career.
It really did. No more bullshit.
When I was in elementary school, the kids picked on me, and I would sometimes like fight back. And then the administration called my parents, and they told them that they were worried that, quote, I could be the next Columbine.
Stop telling that story.
I think it's fucking funny. I wasn't. That's fucked up. That's fucked up of a teacher to say that.
It is, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in your private session.
I think that's fucked up. You guys really let me out to dry. I told a funny story, and you guys see chat's like that is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Being the next, come on.
Chat said, please don't say that out loud again.
I'm
G.
just
see.
I mean, the reactions are speaking for themselves.
That says let's not bring up.
The Fox trade. Jesus. Oh no, Frank.
You're in timeout.
Yeah.
You're in
The Fox trade, like I wasn't even moved by it. Like I saw it and I was just like, oh, all right. Like I don't know. There wasn't anything. Like I get it. A lot of Heat fans were like, hoping. One, I didn't think it was regardless, but like I don't know. Like, what do you like? How is that going to work with the Heat? Like I feel in on so many guys, but we don't want to trade any guys. So how are you supposed to get players if you don't want to trade anybody?
The eternal problem.
Right. I'm serious.
Like 6 years.
By the way, I just learned this. De'Aaron Fox's wife.
She's from Texas. I mean, she's
from San Antonio. A lot of things coming together.
You know what's funny? Bradley Beal's wife is from like the West Coast, and that was a big reason he picked Phoenix over.
Yes.
Like, at what point do the Heat start recruiting the wives? There's got to be some sleeper cell agents.
They did with Chris Bosh.
That's what I'm saying. It works.
Yeah,
it works. They got Savannah. They told her, "Hey, you can tan or you can freeze in the winter." Well, what could you do? And it worked.
Well,
for 4 years.
You still got to be willing. You still got to be willing to make the moves if you get the guys' wives to want to come.
I don't think
the Heat. It's like a it's like this forever like circle. Like fans are always like, we can't trade so and so and so and so and so and so. All right, then how you gonna get this guy?
Frankie, I believe that you found our draft audio.
Shout out to Goins.
Kind of our raw draft reactions compared to what is actually reality.
If they take Tyler Herro, what team do we start covering instead?
Oh, I'm starting Hawksbeat.
I don't understand why people like him. He's not a great shooter. He's like
Don't
Luke
tell me.
Kennard if Luke Kennard was bad.
Out to Herro for three. Yes! With 7 seconds left.
Finishing numbers were not good. So you're not going to be expecting him to beat somebody off the dribble and take it in, to the basket too often.
Nice move and finish. Tyler Herro
Like, how is he going to stay on the floor in a Heat rotation?
on the keeper. You gotta love that rookie.
I would feel so much better about the Herro pick if his arms weren't shorter than he has alligator arms.
Austin Rivers loses the ball to Herro. Herro has help. A 3-on-1 break.
Leif is so sad in their chat. He's like, that pick was such a bummer.
Out to Herro for the three. Yes! He did it again.
We got Tyler Herro.
He doesn't. I don't even know if he realizes he's just twisting the knife.
I don't even know what the best part of that. I think it's me. I don't know how he can stay on for the Heat rotation.
That's so funny. My favorite thing is that's Nekias Duncan of Dunker's spot.
Yeah, Chat's right. We were calling him Herro at the time because they had just
Herro.
drafted him. Yeah, we didn't even know it was Herro.
I mean, you guys were kind of right about not being able to beat people off the dribble and get to the rim. Because
Honestly, I mean, I nailed that.
You kind of cooked on that one.
We cooked on that, but listen, he parlayed that into an all-star appearance. Congratulations, Tyler Herro.
Tyler Harold, as the chat says.
Tyler.
He's like Luke Kennard if Luke Kennard was bad.
I think about that every time I see Luke Kennard. Shout out to Jack. I think of that every time I see Luke Kennard. We got to do the one for we have to have some Kevin Ware one.
Kevin
Khalil.
Kel-El.
Isn't Kevin Ware that kid that got the bone out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the injury for was it Louisville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you know that. I don't even think he played in the league.
No, yeah, I don't know why I know that. I have like a weird some sports. Like I randomly know a lot about like 2010s football, even though I don't like the NFL.
Tiff is so tired of this right now.
Tiff is so tired of this.
Okay. I am.
So kind of to close us out here, we're gonna talk a little bit about Butler. Because this would not be a show without Jimmy Butler trade deadline talk. As we just said, LaVine and Fox are off the table. And Tiff, I was of the opinion that Miami would try to attach themselves to any Fox deal to expand it, to kind of move contracts around. It would appear that just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Frankie, do you know if that trade's been announced?
The Fox trade, yeah.
Like announced? Okay. So
he's already trying out. He's already
Okay.
taking pictures with them and stuff.
Perfect. Okay. So, Tiff, that option's closed. And he told the Warriors, I will not extend. And the options are drying up faster and faster. And at this point, it feels like Phoenix is the only team that's like, hey, guys, but Miami doesn't want to take Bradley Beal. And I think at some point, the trade deadline is going to either be a surprise team that we have not heard of swoops in, or that he'd have to make a choice. Do we want to take Bradley Beal or not? And it would seems like they don't want to.
No, and then there's going to be a point where Bradley Beal is not going to want us. So
Well, it doesn't seem like he wants us. It seems like he doesn't
he
want to move his
did.
family.
Well, he did. I'm saying he
did.
did. But that's what I'm saying. Like at this point, he's not going to want us, so it doesn't matter. You're literally, and I think it comes down to either you're keeping him till the end of the season, or you're willing to take a quote unquote loss, whatever you deem that to be.
So Brian in chat says, Ethan Skolnick of 5 Reasons says, Philly is lurking for Jimmy. And he's quoting Ethan here. Just spitballing. What if Golden State take Paul George, Jimmy goes to Philly, and the Heat get the Warriors and Sixer pieces?
I'm sorry. I don't see Steph thinking that PG is helping them at this point.
I also don't really get why Philly would want Butler now, because like you're getting a diminished Butler and your team is like worse than it was like when you had him. And I don't know. I mean,
Maybe it's Joel.
Joel probably wants him, and I could see
That's what I'm
Jimmy wanting to
saying.
play
Maybe
with Joel,
Joel
yeah.
keeps going.
You have two
keeps
guys
going
that are
to
going to get hurt all
management.
the time.
Yeah.
Right. What do you mean? I don't see how any of that works. I just don't see Steph wanting PG at this point in his career.
Well, they tried in the offseason, to be fair. He opted to go to Philly because I don't think they were giving him the full length that he was looking
The
for.
Warriors?
Warriors, the Warriors. And the Warriors are going to need to do something. I mean, they're just
right. I agree, but like there is video.
There is
PG
film.
ain't taking. There's film. PG is taking you nowhere. He's carrying you nowhere. In the biggest moments, there is one set of footprints because he's not there. Like, what are we doing? Like, at some point, the Warriors have to admit maybe it's not happening this season. Like, I'd rather just not happen than like have to take on PG. And guess what? You're still in the play-in. He's been hurt. You disagree?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't disagree.
Tiff said,
"Sorry, we saw you. There is film of what you did."
It's true, because I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being too logical, and maybe the fact of the matter is, yes, the Warriors need to make their fans think they're doing something. They need to make Steph feel like they're doing something. I just don't see how bringing in an older PG who's been hurt all season is going to make a difference at all.
They got to try something.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But guess what, G?
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, but they gotta do something.
And Philly has their own pick. I think it's like a top 5 protected, so that they do have an incentive to try to make the playoffs.
Right. But no shade, no tea. Everything I just said could be said to Phoenix about Jimmy.
I thought you were going to say Miami.
I agree. And Phoenix is kind of in another situation similar to the Warriors, except where they're just desperate. They got to do something. Phoenix, I think, even more so because they don't really have control of their picks. So, like, Phoenix really.
Yeah, but G, how cute would Phoenix have been if they not made the Beal trade?
Yeah. The Beal, I don't think Beal went for a lot. But the contract is really.
He surprisingly went for a lot more than you would think.
To the Suns?
Yeah. That was the issue. That's why
I thought it was like I thought it was like stuff that we were like, we could have beat that.
It was 4 first-round swaps.
It was the swaps, yeah. So they're not in control of their picks. Yeah. And by the way, shout out to chat. Shout out to Ale in chat saying shout out to my
thank you.
Catching us live. Shout out to you for catching us live. Shout out to the audience on YouTube. We're new to live streaming on YouTube, so appreciate all you guys like Ale taking the time to watch us and rock with us on this beautiful Monday in February.
I just don't think. Can I be honest, y'all? Can I be honest, chat?
As John Jablanca said, this is not a safe space.
I know it's not a safe space, and everybody ready to fight me in the streets. But I'm just gonna tell y'all the truth. I don't know if anything's happening. I don't think anything's happening. I feel like it is what it is. Go get a point guard and finish out this season with what you got. Let's not just sit there and stop crying for Luka, because Luka gone. Fox is gone. KD ain't coming unless a miracle happens. And I will come back here and apologize if KD come. He ain't coming. He ain't coming, though. He ain't coming.
Chat clip it.
Right. I really just think we should just really focus on, can we get a point guard that can just help these young guys for the rest of the season? And by help the young guys, they don't dribble, step back, tween. Like, none of that. Like, you want a guy who's going to facilitate the offense and get some of the young guys going so we can discover what we actually have at the end of the season, in case Luka says, trade me today to Miami. In case some other guy says, trade me to Miami. Or if we just say, we just going to rock with this until, 26? and let the chips fall where they may. That's what I think.
I hear you.
Tiff, I would settle for a point guard that's not under federal investigation.
Oh, same.
Chad's saying
Same.
bring us Lonzo, just so we can watch it, have somebody to root for, have some fun, somebody who helps.
I'm
get the other
anti-Lonzo.
guy. I'm pro Lonzo.
We know.
anti-Lonzo.
I'm pro Lonzo, and I'm pro any point guard who wants to pass first
And
this
defend.
team.
You know what?
And defend for this
I'm
team.
I'm pro Lonzo in the sense of I don't really think this season matters, so why not? But I don't know. I just think I literally don't think he moves their needle at all.
Nobody moves their needle. G.
Right,
That's
but
the thing.
it's not about
have
the
to still
needle
play the game.
moving. He's gonna come in. He's not gonna take up shots. He's gonna pass the ball and he's gonna play defense. That is literally all they need right now.
Yeah.
And you getting shots from. Then you get shots from everybody. Then honestly, like y'all know, y'all thinking it. We could actually see what Jaime has to offer.
Exactly. And we know he's gonna swerve and bend that corner. Whoa. But like Tiff said, like honestly, just a point guard, somebody who could take some pressure off of Tyler offensively, handle the ball, play defense, help out. So it's Highsmith isn't just like, God damn it, somebody help me.
No, you're right. He's just a bad shooter, and I just don't want to watch another bad shooter in the offense.
He's a much better shooter than you think.
He's like 30.
You know what, G, though?
This year.
I think for
35.
the rest of the season, I think he'd be fine because I don't. He's not a guy that's going to come in and focus on I got to get my shots.
Right.
Like he's not that guy. So even if you had him for the rest of the season, I think it's not about him. It's more about the other guys and who he can kind of help.
Exactly. You need a point guard so bad for that.
I think you're not wrong. He's a buy low candidate. I think that you kind of
and he's an expiring, so it helps.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw him as a potential buyout guy. I think that they'd probably wait too. I mean, or you could trade a second for him. I don't know. They have 1 second to trade. I think
they have two. They have the Lakers 20.
They have the one from Cleveland.
Yeah,
that's the max sign and trade.
No, but that was the Lakers 26 pick. That's what they got from them, and they have their own 27 pick.
Thank you, Max. So yeah, Tiff. By the way, Max, what do we think of Max's hair? I liked it before better. I liked it before better. I'm just gonna.
I'm not a fan.
Me neither.
But I feel like because they're in a groove, he can't cut it.
Yeah,
like he's got to
100%.
He got to stick. Now he got to stick with it. That the beard, like by the end of the year, he'll look like a caveman. But he got to stick with what's working. Can I just say, because I haven't potted in a while, it feels good to be back on here and fighting with G.
I love you. I love you, dog.
Oh, it just spears my evil. I needed it.
You feel it.
I love how Tiff wouldn't respond to that.
Feels good to be back.
Feels good.
I love you, dog. Yeah, I love fighting with him.
You. I was even gonna tell you a true story I heard.
Okay, go ahead.
I got a Max story. So I was on Fear the Fro podcast. And they're very good. You should check them out.
That's about Struce's haircut.
It's a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast, and it's really good. So please check them out. I joined them before the Cavs game, and the host was talking to me about how Max was apparently teaching zone to the Cavs because the Cavs use a lot of zone now. So Max is like literally, even when Max was hurt, Max was in practice, like directing guys in the zone, teaching them the Heat zone, and like bringing culture to Cleveland yet again. Second time culture's been exported there. No tariffs on Heat culture in Cleveland. And I thought that was pretty cool that Max is like literally like kind of like a secondary coach for the zone, like teaching them how Miami did it. And I thought that was really cool. I meant to say that last podcast, but we did the hard out. So that I wanted to get that in. Yeah.
Chat says Max got the nuclear codes. Yeah. God,
I miss my guy.
Fucking Elon's country.
Real quick, I wanna end on one thing. And Frankie and I have talked about this. I brought this up, and this will be the last thing we get out of here about the potential of taking the Beal contract. Because if we get to the trade deadline And Pat Riley's looking down it. And the only thing that's available is just Phoenix giving a first and then taking the Beal contract for Butler. Frankie, I don't know if I do that if I'm Miami. I think that if I'm the Heat, I think there's pros and cons to it. I think the pros, most notably, are going to be getting a pick and getting something for Butler. And the cons are going to be, he could walk for nothing, and then you just take your cap space and go. I think I'd rather have cap space than no flexibility financially and that one pick that might be good.
It's literally, I'm glad you said that, because it's literally one pick that might be good. And it even then, it's so far in the future that you don't know. Because it's not just, I get the appeal of potentially opening up your picks to trade more. That does make some sense, but you're still stuck with the Beal contract, who will have a no trade clause and is already difficult to trade just out of Phoenix. But these all three of these picks are the worst of 3 picks. So this year, it's between all 3 years, it's between Utah, Cleveland, and Minnesota. So Cleveland has the best record in the league. So if that continues, that's the 30th pick in the first round. Right. In 2027, it's Cleveland, probably still pretty good. All their 4 core guys are all locked up. Probably still going to be a high 20s, late first round pick. Are you and 2029? That's pretty far off in the future, so anything can happen. But are you really going to take on that contract for potentially one of those picks? Like it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't add a lot of flexibility because of the extent of how long that contract is, how difficult it's been to move for Phoenix. And, they overpaid for that and they're paying the price for it.
Yeah. And how many years does he have left on his contract?
I think it's 3 years, so it'll take you past the 26 free agency.
You ain't got to tell me where it's taking me, because it ain't taking me nowhere. I don't want that.
I don't even think, by the way, guys, it's not just about free agents. It's about just being in a position to trade and absorb contracts, because you can't trade that, as Frankie was saying. So it's like if you do trade Herro or other stuff, you can't take that back.
Right.
You might be at the hard cap. There's a lot of things that might kind of go against your way. You're going to lose out on not just like the big free agents, but like kind of the medium guys, the role players that you might want to bring in. You're not going to be able to have access to them because you're going to be like, it's just not. And expiring contracts don't have the same value that they used to in 2008, right? In 2008, an expiring contract was really valuable, right? And I think right now
doesn't fit.
It just doesn't. Now he could be productive for them.
I think he could be productive. I don't think he fits.
He also doesn't bring enough to warrant that contract at this point, at this level. Like you said, he's almost 50, 40, 80. Like that's still a good player.
No, he's a good player. He also doesn't defend. And now you have the same kind of issues that you have where you have 4 guys, the fucking 4 guys in your backcourt. None of them can defend.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, see, that's why I'm saying he doesn't fit. He technically doesn't fit with who he plays with now. And that's why they're bringing him off the bench.
If they didn't have Tyler Tiff, I would be like, you know what?
Maybe
he's a good player. They need a guard, because then you would say, okay, we'll bring Rozier off the bench. We'll put him here. I guess him and Duncan is like a little shaky, but whatever. But you're gonna have to play him, Herro, Dunk. I don't know. I just rather not.
You just keep repeating the cycle.
Tiff, I just think that Jimmy walking for nothing is fine. I think that.
I'm not mad if
they got him for nothing. They fucking got him for nothing. And if he leaves for nothing, it's not like AD where the Lakers gave the fucking moon and the stars in the galaxy, right? You gave Josh Richardson, Hassan Whiteside, and a pick. You know what I mean? It's not like you fucking. That's not backbreaking. You didn't even want Hassan Whiteside anyway.
I mean, it was kind of backbreaking because they couldn't do it.
That is backbreaking. But it's fine. If he leaves for nothing and you get the cap space, whatever. At the end of the day, I gotta be honest with you, and I'm not saying this is the right thing to do. If I'm Pat Riley and if I'm Jimmy, and if my choices are a shitty first round pick and I have to take Bradley Beal's contract, or I get to give Jimmy Butler a huge middle finger on the way out, I'm taking the middle finger.
This really came full circle because you went from Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first for Luka So bringing us back to Hassan Whiteside, Josh Richardson, and a first for Jimmy Butler. Like it's the NBA it repeats itself.
Chris Mannix says, according to Brian Goins, the Warriors are indeed serious about reuniting with Kevin Durant, sources told Sports Illustrated. With efforts to acquire Jimmy Butler stalled, rival executives believe the Suns are strongly considering Durant deal. That's just so funny if like Jimmy just fucked this for everybody.
And that reminds me. So Anthony Slater of the Athletic wrote an article today about the Warriors, and he did mention that, but he says Butler has long preferred Phoenix as his next destination. League sources confirmed, in part because of an awaiting extension offer that is longer and more lucrative than the one the Warriors would be willing to make if they even offer one.
What do you mean by longer? Because by all accounts in Miami, he didn't want anything past 3 years.
They probably only considered partial. Like the Warriors definitely didn't offer that full max that Windhorst said he declined. That's why he didn't say. That's why he's saying no, because Phoenix is still the one who's saying we'll give you the full max. And until somebody else steps up and says we'll give you the full max, he's only going to prefer Phoenix.
Brian Goins says Ethan Skolnick quote, the Heat have the chance to do the funniest thing possible. Is Ethan live, Brian? Are you just like feeding us shit that Ethan's
like
saying
what's happening?
How are you getting this information from Ethan Skolnick? Are we just siphoning from Discord. The 5 Reasons podcast? Okay, so so Brian is siphoning information from the Discord that people have to pay for.
5 on the float.
We've done that before. We siphon Ethan for contact. Go support 5 Reasons.
So everybody getting traded but Jimmy. Is that what we're doing? Is that what's happening? Everybody's moving but Jimmy.
That would be so funny. And
Jimmy has the Will Smith meme in Fresh Prince.
Oh yeah, in Fresh Prince.
One guy who asked to move doesn't go anywhere.
Mannix just reported that rival executives believe that the Suns are shopping Kevin Durant. Now, the funniest way that this ends is that they trade Durant, and then Jimmy tries to get to Phoenix, and they're like, "We don't want you no more."
I don't think they are going to want him. If you're
I gotta be honest,
Durant, why would you want Jimmy?
Yeah. I fucking hope this ends with both Miami and Jimmy fucked. I think they both deserve that. They both have been.
I kind of feel like that too.
And I'm rooting for the Heat get nothing for him, and he fucking leaves them. And I hope he fucking looks around and goes, Brooklyn? And Brooklyn was like, they close the fucking door on him, and he has nothing.
He'll still have Ernie, man. Come on. What's that? What do you say? Diaper sniffer?
That's just so sick.
God.
I'm just so sick of the like. I understand. Like, I don't know. Ernie's. I'm not gonna get mad at Ernie. Ernie's just being a good friend.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Right.
I'm not mad at Ernie. I do think it's funny. He is very Trumpy right now, but like he's just being a good friend to his boy. Like, I'm not gonna bite the hand that feeds me either. But
I just think it just really looks like everybody's changing addresses but Jimmy. Because if you're traded, let's say you do decide you're going to trade Durant back to the Warriors, what the hell do they want Jimmy for?
Tiff, nobody has cap space. Like Jimmy could enter like the Brooklyn Nets, I think, are the only team, or like Charlotte or some shit. And like if the Heat really at this point, like if he burned this down, the Heat probably were like, let's fucking burn, baby. Like, let's go.
Burn the boats.
Burn. I'll show you some burned boats.
And Carnival.
And that's how this can end, because I'm not taking that Beal contract under no circumstances. And if I have to fucking let you leave for nothing, I let you leave for nothing. And if you fucking go out there and it's Carthage, there's nothing left. Fuck you, bro. This is your fault. Like, you both of these assholes handled this as bad as you could have. And I've said this forever, and we're gonna end on this. Tiff, they should have fucking traded him in the summer. They knew that they were not gonna pay him.
Yep.
They fucking knew.
Welcome.
Their plan was to, and this is them for being dickheads. It's the same things that Liverpool is doing to fucking Mohamed Salah. So I'm living the fucking thing twice. They're looking at their guy and they're like, I'm not going to pay you what you want. And they're like, I bet that guy's going to fucking get to the end of this contract, look around and have to take my shitty offer. You're purposefully lowballing. Fuck you. And fuck Jimmy for just making this a mess. You could have gone somewhere good to win. You're just an asshole. Nobody's going to fucking pay you that. And the Heat correctly said, nobody's going to fucking pay you what you want. You're fucking 35 and you don't play 60 games. You have a fucking attitude problem. Nobody's going to fucking pay you the money that you want. And they were right. One fucking team wants it. And guess what? You're not even going to get there. And they're not going to pay you once they trade Durant because you're 30 fucking 5.
He not going there if they trade Durant.
He's
Scratch
not
that
going
off.
there. So he's gonna get Durant kicked out of town. He's gonna fucking be a Brooklyn Net. I'm not getting that.
How crazy is that? Bradley Beal gonna be last man standing.
So funny. Of like,
Think about the Luka trade. I think the funniest fucking tweet I saw was that they said Danny Ainge was involved in that mess for second round picks like a sick cuck. It makes me laugh every fucking time.
he does it for the thrill.
Did you see that the one where they posted?
They just put the cuck chair.
They put his face on the chair.
I think that was Gad.
No, they put that. Gad put it on the Heat for all these potential for the potential trade that it was like Jimmy and KD and all these players involved, and the Heat got like Harrison Barnes.
Gee, like
Harry B.